Hey guys, Chris from Versus 3D here at 3D Printing Canada once again. Today we're going to do something a little different, kind of new, because we're doing a year-end review. And since this is our first year, then it's our first time doing this, and I'm a little scared. But we're going to talk about 5 videos, not necessarily because they were the top rated or the top viewed or anything like that, but they're 5 videos that we picked and thought were, really important to at least kind of go back and take a look at. And maybe our new subscribers had missed them, so maybe they want to go back and take a look. So why don't you stay tuned? All right, so here we go. In no particular order, number 5. Jason did an installation of a BLTouch on an Ender 3. And we have so many requests and so many people want to know about it. Even if you didn't catch it or didn't know it was there, hopefully you're watching this video and you'll know it was there. So why don't we take a look at a couple of clips.
We have lengths of wire. So there are 5 leads coming off of the BLTouch. They're only about 15 centimeters long, and we really want those wires to go all the way. In my case, I'm going to put them inside this sheath, but all the way in the sheath into the control box. I figured about 3 feet or so would be good. I've got a little bit of extra, but at least 5 of those. Getting it through this sleeve is going to be probably an exercise in frustration, so I won't bore you with that. We'll come back when that's done. Then we go to configuration backend. And on here, we need to disable the SD card support. So SD support, there it is. I made a note to myself. So comment out this line by putting the 2 slashes in the middle or in the beginning. This means that we can't use an SD card anymore, but that tells, when we compile it, tells it not to compile all the SD card support code that is in the Marlin firmware, which saves us the required amount of space so that we can enable the BLTouch functionality.
Wow, thanks Jason. You're awesome. Anyway, just a side note, that video was shot several months ago and there's been a couple of updates. We have shot a new video for installing a BLTouch on the Ender 3 with a new version of firmware. And that video, as of right now, when we're shooting this video on December 27th, 2018, it is not posted yet. It is going to be posted very soon. So just in case it's not up when you see this video, it will be up very soon and there will be a link in the box down there. Next up, again in no particular order, but number 4. Me. Starring me, Chris from Versus 3D. A while back, I think this was back in May, I don't remember. We did a video setup and first print on the Mosaic Palette Plus, and that was one of my favorite videos because that's what I do. I color print and I love it. So the Palette Plus for me is my favorite tool. So take a look at a couple clips from that one. And as you can see through the clear tube, the red is, well, the not so clear tube, red is right here, and there it comes. And you can see that splice is very nice. This will run just fine right through your printer. So we're going to stop it here just till we want to just run this through a little bit so you can see it. And I'm just going to hit cancel print. And then it is just going to cut and spit out the rest. Don't worry so much about the super perfect bed leveling, and I didn't really worry about the calibrating the slicer profile. I just wanted to get the print done. But once you calibrate your palette to other things, like your printers at home, you can do cool things. Like this. Now, these prints do take a little bit longer than regular printing because it does have to change and splice the filament. Typically, something like this doesn't take any longer than a normal print. However, when you get into something very detailed, like this tends to take a lot more. It typically doubles your print time because there's so much splicing and there's purging and all kinds of other things. Wow, thanks me. I don't miss me, who am I kidding? I'm with me all the time. So yeah, so I had a really good time shooting that video. It was, like I said, it was a while ago, and that's something that I use. I have several Mosaic pieces at home, and I love them, and I use them all the time. So definitely check that video out if you haven't yet. And again, the link is going to be down there in the box. So let's move on to number 3. And this one is going to be Jason installing firmware, custom firmware on an Ender 3. And I think that's really important because a lot of people want to print at higher temperatures than the stock firmware allows on an Ender 3, or sometimes we have a lot of customers who upgrade their hot end. So instead of going with the stock Creality hot end, they'll go with the Micro Swiss, or they'll add something different. And the stock firmware doesn't allow that. So it's really great to be able to fix that, and Jason's going to teach you how. So take a look.
To update the firmware on the Ender 3, you're first going to need to flash the bootloader, and then you'll flash the firmware. To flash a new bootloader on here, you have to use an Arduino Uno. There are other ways to do it, but you could use an Uno in any form factor. You're going to need some cables to connect the ICSP headers on the Uno to the ICSP headers on the board inside the printer. And you'll need a USB cable to connect the Uno to your laptop or PC. So on the Arduino Uno here, our ICSP headers are these 6, and there will always be a star or a 1 in the corner. So starting at pin 1, these are numbered, we'll number these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in a moment, we'll flip over to the board and we'll point out the exact same pins with the same numbering scheme. However, on the Arduino Uno, we're not going to use pin 3. Pin 3 is going to be hooked up to pin 10 to reset. So I've actually jimmy rigged a cable here where I've taped the 5 pins in the orientation they need to go here, with 1 missing where pin 3 would be, and I have an additional 1 off pin that will go into pin 10.
Wow, isn't he handsome? We love Jason. Anyway, we're gonna move on to video number 2, which is starring me. So if you have been watching and following the channel, I've been doing a series on Fusion 360 and trying to make it less intimidating for people, trying to show people that it's really not that difficult to do a lot of things and to build basic things and get creative. So one video that we just released just a few weeks ago, we've gotten some great comments, some great feedback. People have come into the store, and I just happen to be here working, and you know, we end up talking about it, is the how to create vases using mesh forms. And I had a real lot of fun doing that because I didn't really have a lot of experience using mesh forms. So it was great for me to learn how to do that stuff so I could help teach you guys how to do that stuff. So take a quick peek at a couple clips from that one. When we create a mesh form, it's going to open up a whole new workspace called the Sculpt workspace. So I'm going to click on Create, and it's going to bring me right over automatically into the Sculpt workspace. So now we've got an extra one here. We can say we wanted to make it glass. Render that real quick and see what it looks like if we made it out of glass. We're not making it out of glass, so it doesn't really matter that much. So let's go back to the model view. All right, so there you have a very simple vase. Here it is, vase number 2. This one I printed in vase mode using our pink silk PLA, and I printed this on Jetfire, which is my CR10 S4 with a Titan Arrow with a 0.6 millimeter nozzle. So you can see how nice and sturdy and strong this is because I used a thicker nozzle. Still only 1 perimeter, but it's thicker. 0.6, thicker than 0.4. Get it? I'm not nearly as handsome as Jason, but that's okay. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the last video I wanna talk about, and this was a really, really great thing. I want to talk about the video we did on Saturday Social with the pros. We had 4 guys, including Jason and myself, and 2 other guys that are friends of ours who are really, you know, what at least, you know, we would consider professionals in the 3D printing industry. We had a ton of customers come in throughout the day. We had coffee, we had pastries, we had all kinds of stuff. They brought prints. It was really a great day, and it was really great to be able to, you know, talk to customers or people who just wanted to come in and talk printing, just because that's what we all do. It's a thing. If you're watching this channel, I'm assuming you like 3D printing. So take a look.
Hey guys, I'm Jason with 3D Printing Canada. We're down here on a Saturday morning with a bunch of our customers doing a bit of a meet and greet. They're asking the pros some questions for tips and tricks, and they've brought in prints that they've made on their printers that they purchased from us here. We're going to be judging the prints and awarding a prize.
It's a real pleasure to have a facility like this that really, you know, 1, you get your help, 2, great product at a good price. So I don't know what more I can say.
All right, here we go. The first one for everyone who got here. You get to pick 2 spools of neat filament, not enhanced, but you can pick any of the regular neats. Steve Shern. That's me. Hey! All right, so that's our top 5 in no particular order. Anyway, a couple things I would like to say. Big thank you to 3D Printing Canada, because without them, none of this would happen. They put tons of time, tons of effort. Mike and Jaron are 2 videographers. They spend so much time working. I do it for fun, whatever. Jason does it because he loves it. You know, we just want to be able to present you guys what we think is quality footage and quality information. And we look forward to doing it again in another year and another year after that. So, don't forget, click the bell. And where's the subscribe button? It's here, I don't know. There's a bell, there's a subscribe button, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you pick, either one, okay by me. Leave a comment, any of this stuff. This is Chris from Versus 3D at 3D Printing Canada. Happy New Year, guys.